Hey everybody, it's been a long time since I've seen y'all, and it's been a long time since I've seen and talked to my pal, Bad Boy Bill over here.
Hey,
But
hey, what's up,
what?
John?
Hey Billy, how you doing, pal?
Just doing okay.
All right.
We're both going through health stuff, and
I say we're both going through some stuff. I mean, that's actually why we didn't come on after the Super Bowl. Plus, I didn't want to rub it in, you know.
for sure.
They did get that last pick. I'll tell you, Billy got to within two games of me, and then that game was made it three, and that was from nowhere, pal. I mean, you were way down, and those last few weeks you tore it up, even the
Yep.
play. But I got lucky, held my own. I ended up rounded up to 66%. Billy was at 65.7% for last
And
season.
getting closer than that.
Yeah, you can't get much closer. So once again, that's betting against all the betters. So we're still fighting, baby. We're still here. We're still making you money if you follow us, and if you don't, well, you're losing your chance to make money off us. So tough shit. No sympathy here. So we're gonna get right to week one. Now I did put in on Facebook, and we both had the same pick. We both took Kansas City. It was like 3 points last night. That the fact that apparently likely likely has bigger feet than he thought.
Yeah, game of
Yeah,
inches, they say, and
yeah,
it was just an inch.
it was. Yep. I'm a little not well, a little surprised because earlier Collinsworth gave credit to a guy that knocked a guy out of bounds, a receiver, because there's no such thing as a force out.
Yeah,
This was very similar. If it wasn't for contact, he would have gotten that foot down. Nobody's mentioned that at all. They're
yeah.
kind of saying, "Oh, he didn't get his foot down. He didn't get it." I mean, the Chiefs defender had contact on him up in the air, and if it wasn't for that contact, I really think he would have landed in bounds, and the Chiefs would have had to worry about a 2 point conversion because they were going for two.
Yeah. And also, I was listening to a couple guys today. They said Peacock had like six different cameras. Now, if that was on a
Yep.
regular game, they said they probably wouldn't have overturned it because they probably wouldn't have had that angle.
Yeah, Peacock actually said that, or somebody else said, "Oh, NFL Today." I saw Good
Yeah,
Morning Football said
that's
it.
where I think I got it from NFL
Yeah,
today.
I watched that a little bit to get some injury updates, and yeah, and they said if this was like Carolina versus one some high school team or something, uh, you wouldn't have been able to tell because they wouldn't have had that angle. Now, what might happen is because that's a goal line camera, you could probably put that into pylons. Uh,
Yeah,
that that might last night's game might make it so that they do have that camera in there every day.
yeah.
I mean, you'd hate to
I mean,
lose.
they have it in the front. They have it the front pylon. Why
Yep.
not all the
Yeah.
pylon?
They should have them all. I mean, that's a sideline camera. I don't see why you wouldn't do that. And they may. The NFL may say, you know what? Even if the networks don't do it, we may put one there.
Right.
But the replay officials have something to look back on.
Yeah.
But that was a big. Obviously, that was a big play. But there were a lot of big plays. It was a very good game, no matter who you were rooting for or betting it for. If you were just watching it as to watch a football game, it was a great game last night. It was very entertaining. Both teams had offense up and down. Uh, there were enough defensive plays on both sides. It really did at first. I thought last team to have the ball is going to win it. And I really thought that was the case last night at first. I was like,
Mhm.
oh, as a Chiefs fan, I was like, stop this freaking guy. But you couldn't. Uh,
Yeah.
somebody made a point this morning, probably the same point. You may have seen this too. They were like, "There's no way Lamar Jackson can play that way for 17 weeks and not get hurt."
Oh yeah, no doubt.
I mean, this was a huge game, but if he's playing somebody like Carolina, I keep bringing up Carolina, but they were so bad last year. If they're playing a bad team, or it's a game that you're not hyped up for, he's going to have to maybe slow down a little bit. Because if he gets hit like on one of those runs like last night, he's liable to miss a lot of time, and that's going to hurt Baltimore in the long run.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah,
Yeah,
no doubt. Because I could see this game as the AFC Championship game again. I really
yeah,
could.
I can too. And as much as I love it, everybody, I likely you could tell he was all, well, I'll say it. He was all a little pissy. And Jackson, I thought it was a touchdown. I still think it was a touchdown.
Well, he should have
Hey,
thought that.
Lamar, it's
He
not a
should,
touchdown.
yeah, he should have thought that the pass before when the guy was wide open.
When Zay Flowers wide open in the end zone, right? That's on him. So and he's just, to me, he's just
Yeah,
deflecting. He screwed up on that one.
yeah,
And it wasn't the only play he kind of missed a pass on either. But then again, Mahomes did when he threw that pick.
yeah.
When the guy deflected it in the air. He was that that's the only little teeny niche you worry about Pat Mahomes once in a while is he may try something way beyond and it might not work.
Yeah.
And that really could have hurt him last night. Well, it did at the time, but
Mhm.
recovered from it.
But they got a real good that rookie. They really
Worthy.
got a gem there because
Yeah, Xavier Worthy was
he's a
worthy
player.
of that pick.
Yeah, and I had him on my fantasy league, so I'm happy.
You're
He got me
happy.
24 points.
Man,
take
did
it.
he really? Is that how many he got?
Yeah,
And like you said, he only touched it earlier. He only touched the ball 3 times, but two of
yeah,
them times were long ass touchdowns.
yeah,
One pass. And that was
yeah.
a breakdown by Baltimore's defense.
Yes,
Uh, Humphrey, who's a great corner, they were playing it looked like a too deep zone, and the safety never came over for the over the top coverage.
yeah,
But you still have to spot that. You have to see it. So you wonder, did it happen earlier and they missed it, and that's why they went to it, or
Mhm.
did Mahomes just see it happen? You know what I mean? Like, maybe Worthy put his hand in the air or did something, because you got to wonder, did he see it or did they know it ahead of time that they
right.
were gonna miss that? Because you got a new defensive coordinator, so it's tough. But that'll show you may be right. That might be or should be, as of right now, your AFC Championship game, barring a couple other teams maybe doing very very well, which is part of what we'll get into week one. What we're going to do, folks, is we're changing the format of the show a little bit. Bill and I have discussed this. What we're going to do is, for this week, we're going to go through the picks like we normally would. We're going to have the from the Cheap Seats Extravaganza early next week, so that all we're going to do is go through our picks for the divisions and division winners and who we think will make the playoffs. That's it. And then when playoff time comes around, we can revisit that and make new playoff predictions. The regular week 2 picks will be later in the week. And what we're going to do to speed it up for you guys and for us is, we know these shows can get long. So what we're going to try and do is make it a little quicker. Bill and I, separately off camera before the week starts, will pick 4 games. And what we're going to do is analyze those 4 games in depth like we do with all of them. And then we're going to make the rest of the picks. And what we'll do with those is each of us will get a 30-second clock if we disagree. For instance, like last night's game, if I picked Baltimore and Bill picked Kansas City, I would get 30 seconds to make my case for Baltimore. I'll have a timer here. Bing, when it goes off. Okay, Bill, you got 30 seconds to make your case for Kansas City. And that's it. And then after that, that's it. Then we make our pick, move on to the next game. But we will do four games in depth like we usually do. So we're hoping that shortens the show a little bit, makes it a little quicker, a quicker pace, and makes Bill and I think a little bit about what we've seen and what we've done or what we've heard and how it's going to affect things, whether it's injuries, whether it's coaching moves, whether it's players disgruntled, like no one knows if Jamar Chase is going to play. We'll get into that a little bit. I mean, who knows what's going to happen? So we've got those things that we're gonna try and do it that way, like we said, to shorten it up a little bit for you guys and for us. But before we get started, I do want to say and remind everybody that we still have a sponsorship from Vinyl and Realty Corporation in Vinyl, New Jersey. Dennis Ingraldi sponsors us, and he keeps sponsoring me, and I feel like one of those kids over starving to death in a third world country. Dennis just keeps sending me enough food, and I keep eating it. And for 73 cents a day, you can feed a family of 4. Well, we can't do it here. We might as well do it overseas. What the heck? I'm half tempted to go overseas so I can eat better for 73 cents a day or whatever. But Dennis sponsors us from Vineland Realty Corporation, 634 Landis Avenue in Vineland, New Jersey. We thank Dennis and his whole crew for all their support over the years, his girl Friday and his whole staff. Thank you, Dennis. Thanks, pal. And we're going to go ahead and get started here, but we did want to reach out and say thank you, Dennis.
Yeah,
And
appreciate it. We must be doing something right.
we
So
must be. I don't know. He knows I took a hike.
that or he feels sorry for us.
I know that's what it is. He's like, yeah, 73 cents a day. His best are eating pretty good. At least the one in the red shirt is. Son of a bit. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. We both got wins against the odds and against straight up pick, of course, because we both took Kansas City last night. Tonight's game, Philadelphia and Green Bay in Sao Paulo, Brazil. It's technically a Philadelphia home game. It's to me, I don't think that's going to make much of a difference as far as a home field advantage. Really, I have a little problem with this one being the game down there. It's the third biggest country in the world, which I didn't know population-wise, but it's also in the top 11 countries for crime.
Yeah, I got a notification today that they said not to leave the hotel.
Yep.
It's like, oh my God.
Yep. Yeah. Even the NFL is saying, just go to the field for practice, go do practice stuff with your team and back in the hotel. If I'm a player, I don't want to do that. But then again, I got to worry about my safety. There are some players who have told their families who would have been paid for not come because they're worried about their safety. Especially like in South America, a lot of things that happen like kidnapping and things.
Yeah.
So, why would you even put a game there if
No.
there's risk?
You know what it is? It's the NFL, and all it is about
Money. It's all about money. We can
and it's just
the market. Well, you know what? Go have the NFL in South America League like you did with Europe years ago. Go do that.
yeah.
And that way, if guys want to go there, then that's fine. But I just don't. To me, not only is this a waste, it's dangerous, and it's just not.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean,
the field.
Like Mexico and Germany and all that. It's fine and dandy. They're. I mean, they got good crowds, but at the end of the day, it ain't fair for the players.
No,
it's not fair for the teams in the league because they're traveling and the other teams aren't traveling.
And let me ask this. I don't know. Well, if you've heard anything, I have not. If you think about it, you're Philadelphia here. And I admit I'm an Eagles fan too. I will be right up front with anybody that's watching for the first time. If you didn't know, I root for the Eagles and I root for the Chiefs. Billy roots for the Redskins and the Colts, right?
Yeah.
I know the Colts. I didn't know if you rooted for Baltimore still or not.
Yeah.
But I know you definitely a Redskins fan and definitely a Colts fan. You were a Colts fan when you were a kid because they were in Baltimore. You were a DC fan because you grew up in that Maryland area as well. I grew up in Philly. My explanation for being a Chiefs fan, I have been since I was a kid when you had 2 leagues, the AFL, NFL. And I just remember Lenny Dawson and all those greats, Otis Taylor and Ed Povak and all those guys. And I just liked watching the Chiefs. And then later on, this guy, Derek Thomas, you got me this, I think, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I still wear this, as you can see. I still wear it around. People going, oh, cool, Derek Thomas. We're like, this is so cool. And I saw another guy with one the other day. I wasn't wearing mine, but I told him I had the same one. He goes, oh, it's really good. And he looked at me like, this guy's a lying piece of shit. So if you're watching, pal, because I gave him a card and told him we're on. So if you're watching, pal, proof of the
there it is.
Right there. And that's where that comes from. But if you're a home team, no matter which one you were, really, are you getting reimbursed for the money you would have made losing a home game?
I don't know. Good question.
No, I mean, think about it. You're probably losing millions. You're losing all the seats. You You won't lose TV revenue. 'Cause-
No,
no.
but you lose all the
But
concession. You
There's
lose all the concession.
concessions, there's parking, there's the seats. I mean, the Philly, it's like 45,000, I think, at the link. So I mean, you're losing a lot. And the
Yeah.
city. Now, and they're not reimbursing the city, but the city's losing a lot because people come into the city and they eat and they, go to restaurants and bars
Mhm.
and all that. Tailgating part. I mean, to me, you're losing 1/8 of, of your revenue between
Yeah,
the.
there's got to be some type of reimbursement. I just can't see
I
that.
would bet they reimburse the team, but I bet they don't give the city anything. That would be my take.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean that's something probably somebody should probably check into, but probably not us.
Who are you guys?
Who are you clowns? We're the clowns that gave you the smart idea. Now you're going to run with it and make millions. Yeah. So, but Green Bay is visiting Philly technically in Brazil. The Eagles are picked by 2. I originally did pick the Eagles. Because it's only 2, I'll probably, well, I gotta stick with it or not. I'm gonna stick with it, but I do have some hesitation because Philly's missing starting linebacker, and they are missing. We found out this morning they're also going to miss their starting defensive back. So 2 starters are not going to be on defense for Philadelphia. But I'm going to stick with him and go from there, see what happens.
So you're taking Green Bay.
No, I'm taking Philly. I'm
Oh,
going.
you're taking Philly. Okay.
Nice try.
You know what? I was back and forth, and it's a coin flip, and it came up the Eagles. So I'll take the Eagles. I think it's going to be a very good game.
Yeah, I do
You
too.
know, Green Bay played well at the end of last year, where Philly didn't. So I mean, that's what almost made me change. But I just I think the addition of Barkley, even though Jones,
Sanders.
Jacobs is with Green Bay.
Yeah, Jacobs Green Bay.
That's and they got a lot of good weapons on the outside. But yeah, I'm going to take the Eagles with you.
Yeah. All right. Let me see. Next, Arizona is going to Buffalo. Buffalo is picked by 6.5. There are some people who say that Kyler Murray looks great and blah, 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 and they think Arizona is going to be tougher. Bullshit. I'll keep it Buffalo. I think Buffalo and Jared Allen are on a mission. Now, they did let Stephon Diggs go. But I think they're going to be on a mission. I think Jared Allen's going to just really try and or Josh Allen?
Josh Allen.
I'm thinking of the Minnesota Vikings' great defensive lineman, Jared Allen. He's a beast, baby.
Yeah. Josh Allen is a beast.
Josh Allen's a beast.
They did, like you said, they lost Diggs, but they picked up a receiver in the draft.
Yeah. I can't remember his name.
No, not Davis. They lost Gabe Davis too. So
yeah.
But I still think Buffalo's got enough firepower in at home, and I think they'll cover the 6.5.
I do too. And until Arizona shows me something, I'm not with it. They're gonna have to show me something.
Yeah, if this game was in
Connor, they have Murray, but do they have?
Yeah, if this game was in Arizona, I might have taken a shot on, but not in Buffalo.
No, and 6.5 is too much for me to ignore. So I'm sticking with it. I'm taking it across the board.
Yep.
New England, Cincinnati. Cincinnati's picked by 8. This game only scares me on the point spread. I think Cincinnati's going to win it. The only reason the point spread scares me is if Chase isn't playing.
Yeah, and T. Higgins is downgraded to doubtful. So
yeah,
if they're out without both of them, that makes me think Chase will play if Higgins is out. So, but
today he came out and said the decision is his, but he still hasn't made the decision yet.
Right.
I mean, come on.
New England's starting Brissett. Yeah. They're just not impressive, and Bengals defense is pretty decent, so I'm going to take the Bengals across the board.
All right, and I did the same thing. Houston and Indy. They are picking Indy by 3. Do I have
Yeah,
that
that's because it's the home game.
over
It's the
Houston?
home field advantage.
Over Houston?
Um,
No, I can't. That to me,
no,
I took Houston across the board. I'm sorry. I just think
yeah, going by last year, absolutely, but they
yeah,
also had the easiest schedule last year.
yeah,
Not to take anything away from them because they still, I got Stroud in 2 of my leagues, so
yeah,
that's how confident I am with them. But I just think Richardson is the key here. If he stays healthy, I
yep,
think the
yeah.
that's the deal. So I'm gonna take the Colts
Okay.
across the board. Yeah.
Colts across the board. We got a different one. There we go. You make a mark over here and go from there. Jacksonville. I took Houston across the board. I want to see Richardson prove something to me first. So
Understandable.
um, Jacksonville, Miami. I don't know why I have it this way. I think Miami's picked by 3, aren't they?
Yeah, check real quick.
Yeah, Miami's by 3. I don't know why this is wrong. It's Miami by 3. And I think Miami has a little more offense.
Oh, just to go back to the last game,
Oh yeah,
the culture or the underdogs. They're the culture +3.
I wonder why. Yeah, yeah, I
Uh,
have Houston picked by 3.
oh, okay.
Did I say it backwards?
You might have. That's all right.
Okay. Yeah, I probably said it backwards. And yeah,
And
oh, I see it.
and you said Miami, right? That's
Miami by 3, and I'm gonna take that and take the spread too. I I I don't know if Jacksonville's got enough offense. Miami's still pretty high powered offensively, and Tua threw for the most yards in the league last year, and he's got weapons out the wazoo. So I'm thinking I like Lawrence. He hangs in there. And I like the fact he's got another year under Doug Peterson and his offensive crew. And I mean, obviously coming back healthy because he was hurting toward the end of last year. But I just think Miami's a little bit too much for him right now.
yeah. This is another coin flip from me, and I came up Jacksonville. So I will tell Jacksonville their offense is fine. Their defense is pretty good. Miami, if you could hold the cheetah down a little bit,
Yeah,
I
that's
think
the key, I think.
that would be the key.
That's the key. All right. So there's 2 games we're different on. Chicago, Tennessee, 3.5. Chicago's picked, I think, by 3.5. Let's see.
Um, yeah, yeah, they're 3.5. So
I
Tennessee,
agree that's because it's a home game. Tennessee is actually going to have Will Levis as they're looking at him as the quarterback of the future. But they did go out and get a couple weapons for him.
yeah, they got Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
They did lose Derrick Henry, of course.
Yes.
Um, so that's between Tony Pollard and Spears. They'll both be splitting carry. So
Yeah. But then Chicago went out and got weapons for Williams. I mean,
yeah,
not
they,
Williams.
they picked up Allen from the Chargers, and they still have DJ Moore from they
Yeah.
so
A whole new head coaching staff in Texas or in Tennessee. Um, Usually you like to give them a year to make their mark. I think Chicago, since it's only 3.5, I'm going to take them across the board. I think it'll be a
yeah.
game. Could be a 24-20 kind of a game, but
Yeah, and this is also Caleb Williams' first game, also as a rookie. So I think he's gonna something to prove at home.
yeah,
I think Chicago wins this.
you taking them on the spread too.
Yeah, across the board. Yeah.
Pittsburgh, Atlanta. This one, This one's a little intriguing as well. New quarterback, plus a new backup quarterback for Atlanta. New quarterbacks in Pittsburgh. Russell Wilson now already has a calf injury or something. But he's going to start. Who knows this guy? I don't know. And I feel bad for Justin Fields. I feel he got a raw deal in Chicago. A lot of different coordinators, no weapons, all that. As soon as he's gone, they get a bunch of weapons for another guy. I'm like,
Yeah.
screwed. He got screwed. Even if he plays, Pittsburgh doesn't have that many weapons either. They got Najee Harris in the backfield, but receiver wise, they don't have a whole lot.
Yeah, they got George Pickens, and you got to have more than one receiver,
I have more than one
or they're going to get double teamed. And
I
I just think
9-8 again, 8-9, somewhere in that. If everybody else struggles, they'll squeak in the playoffs again if they're lucky. But I don't see them much above that.
yeah, and I don't think it'll be Russell Wilson to take him there. I think eventually, if he's already hurt and banged up, you better watch it because, like that, I think Fields will take that job.
I think within a couple of weeks, if Wilson's not showing anything, Mike Tomlin may bench him. You know, what do they got to do?
Yeah.
Damn, look at that girl behind you.
Hey, John.
Hey, cheerleader, buy me a hi, Janine. Oh, man. Let me see.
But I think it's Pittsburgh's getting 3. But
yeah,
and I tell you what, Atlanta's improved. I love the running back.
3 or 3.5. I had it 3.5.
B is it
3.5? Man.
Okay, 3.5. Bijan Robinson, and they get Kirk Cousins is their starting quarterback now.
Yeah,
and I'm thinking Atlanta across the board.
Yeah, I am too. Pitts is still a tight end as well, so I think, and it's in Atlanta. I think it's going to be too much for Pittsburgh to deal with. Though TJ Watt's out there, if he hits what's his name, right? But then you got Panic to worry about. So here's the barn burner of the day. Carolina and New Orleans. The Saints at home are picked by 4. And no one cares. I shouldn't say that.
Yeah, it's a shame. Carolina, I don't know. They just fell off. I mean, now and then they got their rookie running back Brooks, but he's out after having knee surgery back in November, I think it was.
Yeah, he's still out, right?
So and they don't have much weapons.
No.
This is
another drafted quarterback I feel bad for, Young, because he walked into a situation that's terrible.
Yeah.
But it's the old story. If you're getting drafted high, it means you're going to a crap team.
Yeah.
The team was shitty to get to that point, unless it was a trade. So
yeah.
And
so yeah, I'll take the Saints across the board.
All right. Yeah, it's 4. If it was 6, I'd give Carolina a shot at staying close, but it's not. It's only 4. Don't get me wrong. What could happen here is you could see New Orleans win last second, 19-17 or something.
Yeah. No, they could lose. They took them in the suicide pool, so they could lose.
Oh man, I'm sorry, buddy. Oh man, good luck with that. Minnesota and the Giants, the Vikings are picked by 1.5 bucks. This is another, I don't want to say snooze fest, but Minnesota, new coach, new quarterback. And the first one you were going to use got hurt, I think. So it's Donaldson, right? Am I right? Sam.
Yeah, Darnold's going to be starting for Minnesota, and they did get Aaron Jones from Green Bay.
True.
So Minnesota's not that bad, and New York ended up getting Singleton from Singletary.
Right.
Yeah, Singletary from
Buffalo, right? And Daniel Jones is back, of course, for his injury. Daboll is going to take over calling plays himself, the head coach, which he is an offensive guy, which is why he got that job in the first place.
Yeah,
haven't shown a whole lot, and of course they lost Saquon. So
yeah. I still like Jefferson, and I think Darnold is a gunslinger when given the chance. So I'm going to take Minnesota across.
yeah, and the fact that it's only 1.5, to be honest with you, I don't see the Giants being able to stay with them offensively. I think you did right. Seattle picked by 6 over Denver. Denver is starting a rookie quarterback as well in Bo Nix.
Go next, yeah.
Seattle's weapons though. I mean, you got Metcalf on one side, Lockhart on the
You
other.
got Lockett, and Smith Nigma, and they got a running game and what's his name? Walker.
Yes,
That's Kenneth Walker. Yes.
and
Yeah, I picked
no slouch in he can move out of the pocket. I mean, he's
Yeah.
a runner like what's his name last night, but he can move around in the pocket and avoid sacks and stuff. So.
Yeah. I got Seattle winning this game, but for some reason I think Knicks might keep it close.
Okay,
So I'll take
you're going to take
the points in that one.
take the points. Okay. Vegas and the Chargers. The Raiders. LA, which means nothing we have discovered the last few years as far as home team for either the Rams or the Chargers at SoFi Field. It's not really a home field advantage, except maybe not traveling. Other than that, it really doesn't make it much of a home field as far as crowd and stuff is concerned.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, you got Herbert for the Chargers, who was banged up last year. And
he's been walking around all off season in a walking boot, but he's
yeah,
out.
he was off,
ready to go. But
yeah.
how many reps has he had? That's the key.
Yeah. They don't have Austin Eckler now. They picked up Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins from Baltimore.
Right.
The Raiders are starting Minshew.
Gardner, who I like personally.
Who I like.
I always thought he should have gotten a shot. Now I think he's got a 2-year deal, which for him now is long term, for crying out loud. I hope he saves money because he's getting a little bit of money here and there. I hope for his sake, because he's a quirky guy. I like the guy. He's a little out there. Still got the 80s porn mustache. Every time you see the guy without a helmet on, I start hearing down, bow, bow, bow. Now, he should be playing like his background music or some shit. But I like the guy, and I think, and he gets the team behind him. He's a great teammate, makes things happen. And I'll tell you what, he did well for the Colts last year when Richardson got hurt.
Yep.
He kept them afloat. So, and obviously played that into this Raiders deal and beat out. Gosh, who was it? They drafted somebody, right? There's like a placeholder if you think about it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who they got. That's who I've been starting.
Well, they got the kid from. Oh no, it's the kid from last year. Collier. Does that make sense?
Oh, O'Connell.
Because they said they were fighting it out, so maybe it's him, and they're trying to get him more experience eventually. Because he got thrown into it after injuries last year too.
Yeah, but I like the coaching staff of the Raiders, and I think that could be the difference here. So I'm going to take the Raiders in the upset.
Yeah. Just for fun, I may go ahead and take the Chargers, but I haven't picked this game yet. I do like Antonio Pierce. You're right, the coach. Kind of reminds me the same as Dan Campbell. You know, the attitude at least. We're coming after you. And we're giving you everything we got. We're going to hit you. We're going to hit you hard. The only thing that was missing is he didn't say about biting off your kneecaps, but just about everything else. But I do like Jim Harbaugh too, and I think wherever he goes, let's face it, team a winner. And sometimes it takes a little while though, but the Chargers do have some weapons. because it's not in Vegas, not because it's in LA, but because it's not in Vegas where it is a rabid fan base. I think I'm going to go ahead and take the Chargers. It is only 3, so
Yeah, I think I think this will be a Raider game. I think all the fans I didn't go
you
to
may be
Vegas.
right. Because the LA doesn't draw enough fans for
Yeah.
either team, the Rams or the Chargers.
Yeah,
You may be right, especially the Chargers though. But I'm gonna go out on the limb and take the Chargers. It's terrible. I'm going out on the limb and taking the favorite. You're the one taking the dog, and I'm going out on a limb here. I really do feel that way. I feel like just because they're favored, I'm taking a chance on them. But I think they got a shot. The next game, I can't see why, but Cleveland is picked by 2.5. It is in Cleveland.
it is in Cleveland.
Cleveland does have a good defense. But since Deshaun Watson's got there, it seems like he hasn't recovered from his last happy ending. Oh! Seems like, you know what it seems like, Bill? Seems like something's rubbed him the wrong way.
And I'm assuming CD Lamb's going to play.
Who?
That's not a guarantee yet.
Who?
CD Lamb,
I think he's going to play.
but I think he
That's why
will
he's
play.
I think he'll play.
But they don't have a running game.
No.
They had to go out and go back and get Zeke.
They have somebody else too, but he's like a Zeke mode. They're both short.
Cleveland, yeah,
They don't have a speedster really.
yeah. Cleveland's tough at home. That's the dog pound.
Yeah, that's true. And they are one of the best defenses in the league.
You know what? And that's what I'm going. Defense wins games.
Okay. And I agree with you normally. I just for some reason think there's a lot on the line for the Dallas players. Dak's going to play for a contract extension. CD got his contract extension. Now he's got to prove he's worthy. Their tight end's pretty decent for Dallas, I think, right?
Yeah, Ferguson. Yeah,
Ferguson, right. So I'm gonna think Dallas ekes out a game here. If it's high scoring, I think it'll be Dallas.
Yeah, no doubt.
I don't see Cleveland. I just can't see Watson doing anything. I really can't.
I don't know. They got Cooper. They picked up Jerry Jeudy from Denver, and they got Njoku to tight end. So I think they got enough weapons.
You might have just enough. But if it's a high scoring game,
yeah,
I give the edge to Dallas. So I'm going to take Dallas. Though it pains me because I'm not a Dallas fan, as you know. But
I'm taking chances already. First week
yeah. Well, no, this time you took the home team. I'm the one taking chances on this.
Yeah.
one.
But you're right, though. This should have been like an even game or something.
I think so, yeah. But we'll see what happens. Washington and Tampa Bay. In Tampa Bay, your boys
Yeah.
made a lot of changes this year.
To be honest with you, I was on the fence, back and forth, and for some reason, I'm going to take Washington with the rookie quarterback and see. I was going to take Tampa to see what he does, but you know what? It's almost like a pick'em game. So
it is going to be. I think it is going to be a tough one.
So I'm going to take Washington.
Yeah. Well, I took Tampa Bay, so I marked it.
Okay.
We'll see what happens. It is in Tampa. I still think Baker's such a gamer, man. He's Minshew is like Baker Light or something, I think. They're both same kind of a mold, you know what I mean? They just do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Get everybody fired up. Let's go, boys.
And it took him a while to get there because he was really not good.
Yeah. Yeah. What was it? How was it? We used to put it. He wasn't good. He got a shot when the Rams picked him up late in the season, and he had, with no knowledge of the offense, literally like 2 or 3 hours was activated before the game. Had only worked out with him for like 2 or 3 days, And on Thursday Night Football on Amazon, I'll never forget it. Because I remember a bunch of stuff he said after.
Yep.
He just took off. He had a great game and single-handedly won them that game, basically, even though the Rams weren't expected to win it. It put him back in the playoff hunt.
hmm
So, and it just goes to show you the guy will do whatever it takes to win. I like him. I think they're going to win it, but I think you're right. I think it's going to be close. I don't see it as a rout either way. So,
Right.
Sunday night, speaking of those Los Angeles Rams, they go into Detroit, into what is now the Lions' den. It really is not a nice place to play because the Lions are a good team. And now we see that when you have a good team, fans show up.
Yeah.
Years, Lions had nobody coming out because for years the Lions sucked. Well,
Yeah.
they don't. They
I
suck
think this.
not anymore.
I think this could be the game of the week, and it was
Ooh,
interesting that since 21, both quarterbacks have very similar numbers.
really?
Yeah, very, very, very similar. So
Well, I think Goff still feels like he's got stuff to prove to LA for dumping him. Stafford doesn't quite have that chip. He was actually proud of his time and should have been in Detroit. I mean, guy plays with a lot of heart. He played through a lot of injuries. Never forget the touchdown pass he threw with a separated shoulder, for crying out loud.
mhm.
And he refused to come out. And he's like, no, one more play. And he stayed in and threw a touchdown pass. I mean,
Right.
and then was out 4 weeks. I mean, it was a legit separated shoulder. But and you could see it just hanging. It wasn't his throwing up, but I mean, it was still, you could see it just hanging. If he'd taken another hit, who knows what kind of damage could have been done. Been through a lot with Detroit, but he doesn't have that chip on his shoulder that's negative. Whereas Goff, you dumped me. I didn't have a bad year, had a great year the year before, and you dumped me.
Oh man, yeah.
And I think he's had a chance to prove it once, and I think he might be out for revenge here too. I'll tell you, it's a tough one for me. 4.5. LA has, well, they have Stafford and they have a lot of other weapons too.
It's 4.5. Okay, I had 3.5, but that's fine.
Last I knew it was 4.5. Let me double check it. Maybe it's changed.
Yeah, I'm just using the NFL.
Oh no, I got DraftKings up. Yeah, it's 4.5.
4.5. Okay.
Detroit by 4.5. That's the part I don't see.
Yeah, that makes.
I actually see the Rams winning it, to be honest with you.
I'm going to take the Lions, but I will take the 4.5 because that's a lot of points to give the Rams. Because I really think the Rams can win that division this year.
I do too. I took LA across the board. You're taking LA and Detroit to cover.
But I tell you what, folks, right here, 51 points is the over under. I think this goes way over that. So if you want a good bet, take the over in this game.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about the over unders, but you're right. I would take that in a heartbeat, over under. And last but not least, Monday Night Football. The not Giants. I'm thinking baseball. Niners have everybody back. They signed Ayuk. They signed Williams, the lineman. McCaffrey's been hobbled a little bit. They're talking about, first they were talking about just a calf, but now they did admit that there is also something Achilles wise on the injury list. But it's on the injury list, but he is listed as probable, I think.
Yeah, he'll play.
He's going to play. But if there is something with that Achilles, they might be putting him on a pitch count or something.
Yeah, and they also just signed Trent Williams, and who knows what kind of shape he's in. So
right, for a lineman, it's a whole different ball of wax. He's got is he in shape?
Yeah,
it could be like Jason Peters. It doesn't hurt him to get that rest because he's going to be beat up all season.
Yeah.
For years, Jason Peters with the Eagles, they didn't have him practice. He came, work out a little bit, do workouts and walkthroughs. As far as contact stuff, they didn't have him do it because
Hmm.
he played so long. He was getting so beat up that by the end of the season, he was a wreck. They
Yeah.
might not be too unhappy that they're doing that with Trent Williams.
Yeah.
So, but I think the Jets are overrated. People are talking about them making the playoffs, and a couple of people actually said that they're going to go to the AFC Championship. Well, yeah. Well, guess what? If you and me buy tickets, Bill, we can go to the AFC Championship. They're not ready. Yeah, they got some weapons.
Yes.
Who
You got
knows?
Aaron Rodgers back. Who knows how? I
Who
mean,
knows?
he's a fighter.
Going to be. He's 40 years old. Or going to be. He is. He's 40.
I know.
Trying to be Tom Brady. What the hell's the deal? He's coming back off an Achilles at 40 years old. Might come out and prove me wrong and prove everybody wrong and be the gunslinger and be the guy everybody thinks. But I'm gonna make him prove it to me. You know, he's got what, one decent receiver, a tight end, and a decent running back.
Yeah. Well, no, I good running back. Brees Hall is very good.
Brees Hall's good. Oh no.
And Wilson's not a bad receiver, but I get it. The other side of the ball, there's not too much of on the other side of Wilson. There ain't too much, and I'm not a Rodgers fan, but something just tells me, I don't know. He wanted to come back last year, and they said no, don't risk it. So I'm taking the Jets
Across the board?
across the
Well, I
board.
guess you are, yeah, if you're taking the Jets, yeah. Wow. Now you are going out on the limb.
Starting early, baby.
Let her rip, baby. I think the Niners got too much. You still got Bosa on defense with a couple other guys. You still got now you got Ayuk back. You still got Debo. You still got McCaffrey. You still got Kittle. Purdy can get him the ball if he gets a little. And now that you got Williams back on your O line, he should get some protection.
Yeah.
I just the Niners. I think, though I'm with you as far as the Rams in that same division may win the division. The only problem for the Rams to me is they're going to miss Aaron Darnold.
Yeah.
I miss Aaron Donald. I mean, one of the best defensive linemen, maybe of all time. And I said one of, not the best. I'm still a huge Reggie White fan, and Howie Long, and the Bears when they were,
Yeah.
big time, the Purple People Eaters.
Mm-hmm.
I remember as a kid, the LA Rams, fearsome foursome.
Yeah.
But Darnold's up there. He's in that class. He'll be in the Hall of Fame 5 years from now, 4 years from now, whatever it is. But I think the Rams do have a lot. I think they could win the division, but it's going to be tooth and nail. But the Niners are still talented. The Niners are not going to be out of the playoffs. Let's face it.
No.
Even if they don't win the division, they'll be a top wild card.
Yep.
11, 12 wins, easy, I think. I think they're too much for the Jets, especially since
So for all the namesayers that think the Jets are gonna do this and do that, that starts right here with this game. It ain't about beating up the scrubs. It's about good teams, and this is a good team. So we'll see what happens.
Yep. And as they say, there are no such things as moral victories. But I think this could prove some people wrong, even if the Jets lose, if it's not a rout. If the Niners win it, 27-24, 31-27 or something, that's not a rout. You hung with them.
Right.
But if the Niners win this thing like 31-10, watch how fast bandwagon.
Yeah, after game one.
After game one, and people are going to be jumping off like they're like an accountant with a bankrupt business jumping off a skyscraper. They're out.
You know what, though? They did knock off your team last year when they were undefeated.
Yeah, well,
The Jets.
as a guy said to me once, I'm 8 years old, sitting at Connie Mack Stadium. That's how old this remark comes from. And Richie Allen hits a home run against the San Francisco Giants. I'll never forget it. First baseball game I ever went to. It was actually with my dad. The only time he ever, I guess somebody shamed him into, you should take your son to his first baseball game. So we did. We took a bus, the whole deal, because he didn't drive. I remember saying, how good Richie Allen was. Then he hit the home run. Yeah, hit the home run. Guy says, yeah, well, he's just lucky. Willie Mays struck out once too. So I'm like, all right, the Jets won. Okay, big deal. Willie Mays struck out once too. Weird shit happened.
I was just happy not hear fly, Eagles, fly.
Yeah. I know.
And I love Facebook. I love Facebook when the Eagles lose and the Cowboys lose. It's hilarious.
It's a
what pure entertainment looking at the comments.
It's a slugfest, man. It's great. It's a boo-hoo festival. I'm telling you, it's great.
It's great because I have a lot of friends that are Cowboy fans, and I just love it when they lose and the other and then when they play each other. Oh my God!
It's all week long. It's terrible.
And I'm an instigator. I'm digging in because I don't care for either team.
I know you don't like either team. So you're one day you'll put something out about the Cowgirls, the next day you'll put something out about the Beagles.
Yeah. You know me too well, so
man. That wraps up our picks for this week. There are some differences here. Let me see. We'll run them down real fast for you before we go. Indy and Houston, we both oh no, Billy took the Colts. I took Houston, both across the board. Jacksonville, Miami, I took Miami across the board. Billy took Jacksonville across the board. Chicago, we kept the same. It looks like Minnesota and the Giants. Billy took the Giants in an upset pick to me.
No, I got Minnesota.
Why do I have that you took the Giants? Let me fix that right away. Good thing we went through the review here.
Because you took the Minnesota too, right?
Yes, I did. Seattle, Denver. Billy took Denver to cover. I did not. He took Seattle to win the game. I took Seattle across the board.
Yep.
Billy took Vegas across the board. They're the underdog. I took the Chargers across the board at home, which still really doesn't make much difference. Like you said, Bill, could still be a pro Raider crowd.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to give Jim Harbaugh some props and think he can get this team going, though I do like Vegas as coach. Cleveland, they're picked by 2.5 over Dallas at home in Cleveland. Billy took Cleveland across the board. I took Dallas across the board to pull the upset. I don't think it's a big upset, to be honest, but Billy in Washington, Tampa Bay, Billy took his beloved Redskins, former Redskins, whatever.
Yeah, they're always going to be the Redskins to me. So
you're wearing a Redskin hat, baby. That's right.
There ain't no stinking Commanders. It's the
what's going to happen next? Someday they're going to say Eagles are endangered species, so we should.
Yeah, it's
kiss my ass. All right. They were always, like you said, they'll always be there. It still sounds stupid, Commander. Like in baseball, calling Cleveland the Guardians. It sounds
stupid.
They say, oh, the Guardians. Oh, who are they? It doesn't click. It's nothing.
Yep.
Stupid. So Bill took Washington. I even liked the Washington Football Club or Washington Football Team better than I like Commanders. I did like that. Don't be surprised if within a couple of years, since Josh Harris owns them and he likes to make money, if they don't change the name again.
Yeah.
To something else. Don't be surprised if he thinks, because they'll make money off all new gear and everything else. Washington, Tampa Bay. You took Washington, I took Tampa Bay, even though the Bucks are picked by 3.5. Sunday night, we talked about Detroit and the Rams. Billy took the Rams to win the game, Detroit to cover the 4.5-point spread.
No, I got Detroit to win, and
You got it reversed?
the Rams to cover.
All right. Let me fix it. Detroit. There we go. Detroit to win, LA to cover. I got LA across the board. And
Right.
Monday night, Billy took the JETS Jets across the board. San Francisco's picked by 4.5 in San Francisco. And I took the Niners. Got a difference there as well. So we've got about 6 games where there's some kind of a difference. That's it, folks. Billy did point out the over-under game of the week. Maybe that's how we'll do it instead of going through all of them. That is absolutely the right pick. That was the Niners Jets game, right?
No, that was the
Rams.
Detroit Rams 51 points.
51
Take
points.
the over
And
51.
Take it. Oh, take that all day long.
It should be in the 60s.
Yeah. I think you're right. Probably about 65. I mean, not even little 60s. I mean, like.
Mhm.
So there you have it. We're both 1-0 so far across the board. Thanks to those Kansas City Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Up them Chiefs! With Andy Reid and crew. Big game last night. We talked about it a little bit with the toe hold that the Chiefs got on the game. Yeah, they put their best foot forward, but Baltimore didn't.
Yeah.
Too far forward. I know the jokes are out there. They're too easy, but I'll say them anyway. I'm a little surprised they didn't give, and his name was just in my head and it's gone. The DB for the Chiefs making contact with Likely to force him to come down in that situation. If he hadn't hit him, I believe that he would have gotten his foot down in bounds.
Yeah.
So no credit to him at all. Forget giving him any credit. Don't get me wrong, Likely's crying and whining, and Lamar's whining, crying, I still think it was a touchdown. All right, learn the rules. But I will tell you, like we talked off camera, I don't know if Lamar's going to be able to play that way all season long. He
No.
can't like
No.
that.
He wouldn't be able to sustain that.
Going to get hurt. But
And getting back to that play, I think the NFL should adapt what the colleges, and it's a 1 foot in. I think it's getting the 1 foot down. It would be easier to call.
Yeah.
And
it would be a lot easier. And they're always looking to improve offense in the NFL.
yes,
Well, that would improve the heck out of offense. You know?
yes,
Your points and your first downs and your yards are going to go sky high. So I think that's a great point, but I don't know if they ever will. There's never really been any real serious talk about it.
yeah, there hasn't been never. Yeah, nothing.
Mm-mm. The only thing they ever did was they got rid of that force out rule, which is good, but that's really more of a defensive rule.
Right.
Years ago, if you forced a guy out of bounds, they could still count it as a catch. I do think you had to get rid of that because that just made it subjective.
Oh yeah, that was just too debatable.
Referees could say boom, and
Yeah.
So, but I think you're right. I think that would really open up offenses even more. But we're just 2 guys on the couch that watch the games, pick them, have an interest. We're called fans. NFL, the no fans league. We don't care.
Yeah.
We want your money.
Yep.
It's just a money grab to me anymore. But as long as there's games on the field that are competitive, it's still worth watching. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. So thank God I already have Peacock. I wouldn't go out and get it to watch this game. I'd go to a sports bar, but I already have it because of different tie-ins with it, and I didn't have to pay an arm and a leg for it like a lot.
Yeah, I'm glad we have it. Actually, tonight, remember I said I wasn't doing nothing tonight? The
Yeah.
wife and I are actually going to go up to the river deck and watch the game tonight.
Are you?
Yeah, they got some deals on, food and drink deals. So I'm like,
That makes it a nice time.
yeah,
That makes it a nice time.
can't beat dollar wings.
Might
So,
go about half hour from here. I might take a ride to instead of watching at home. We'll see.
yeah.
But it's going to be interesting to see what both teams can do.
Hmm.
You're right. I think it's going to be could be a really good game.
Yeah, I think it could be like a 28-24 game, somewhere
Yeah.
around.
Yeah. And like most NFL games, turnovers will probably decide it.
Right.
You know, who
And
has
even the most interesting part besides the game is, like I said, where it's played at. I mean,
yeah, that's
I could see something really bad happening.
yeah. You just hope it
Even,
doesn't.
before or even after, it's just
Yeah. Yeah, even that, until they get on planes and
until
get
they get on a plane. Go, yeah, absolutely.
until they touch down back in the North America area.
Mhm.
Too many things. I don't know why they're doing it. Well, we know why. It's money.
Yeah.
It's
But
just,
logically, why are they doing? It's just
well, it's only money. There's no other
Yeah.
real.
It's only money. Yeah.
So, all right, brother. Well,
All right.
I'm going to sign us
Appreciate
off
it.
here.
It was nice being back, and thanks, Dennis from Vineland Realty again. Appreciate
Exactly. Thanks, Dennis,
your support.
for all that support over the years now. And there's a chance I'll be in South Jersey in the fall. If there is, then I will be looking them up, and we may even do some kind of a show from there and have Dennis on. That'll be great.
There you go. Oh, that'd be awesome.
That'd be awesome. Do a Public John podcast and put Dennis back on, because we used to do some things when I was back there every once in a while, and he would help out, and he's a funny guy. So we may do that. So he doesn't know. I just sprung it on him if he watches.
Yeah, sounds good.
Good. So, all right, buddy. So
All right.
hang in there. We're going to go off air, and thanks, folks, for tuning in from the cheap seats. We'll be back early next week with our season breakdown, and then we'll be back with our picks later next week before the game starts. So thanks, everybody. Week 1, enjoy it. Enjoy the game, and we will talk to you soon. For Billy Smith, for my pal Dennis Ingraldi, and all the folks at Vineland Realty, we just want to say thank you. Have a great week. Have a good weekend, everybody.